Welcome back to Integrity Flow Yoga. I'm Meg, and today is day 2 of the Beginner's Flow series. If you're not already seated on the mat, I'll go ahead and invite you to get settled in. You can use a towel or a blanket to lift up your hips so that you are able to lengthen your spine. Once you're all settled, I'll go ahead and invite you to close your eyes and begin to notice your breath. Listening to the sound of your inhale and your exhale, paying attention to how it's moving your body. Today we're going to become curious and explore what it means to be flexible both in our body and in our mind. While we're on the mat today, we're going to move our body and open up our muscles and create some space in our joints. But we can also use this time to reflect on how flexibility can become a part of our mental experience, our emotional experience. Just like you might get stuck physically in a posture, you may also become stuck mentally or emotionally with ideas or thoughts. And maybe this time we can switch our perspectives and be more open-minded. Find a way to bridge that gap, both physically and mentally. Go ahead and take a deep inhale and an exhale out through your mouth. Remember to sit up straight. Inhale again. And on your next exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. Nice. We're going to go ahead and start with some shoulder rolls. So just bringing your shoulders up to your ears and rounding them back. Inhale up to your ears. Exhale, roll them all the way back. One more time. Inhale and exhale, release. Now take your hands behind your ears and we're going to bring them all the way up to the ceiling. Then turn your torso to face your right knee, placing your left hand on your knee and your right hand behind you for a gentle twist. Inhale and exhale. When you inhale, see if you can feel your inhale expand your belly. And on your exhale, bringing your navel into your spine. Again, inhale, expand your belly. Exhale, navel to spine, and release. Let's do that on the other side. Hands come behind your ears and all the way up. Turn your torso towards your left knee. Place your right hand on your left knee and your left hand behind you for a gentle twist. Inhale, expand your belly. Exhale, navel to spine. Inhale, expand your belly. Exhale, navel to spine. One more time, inhale, deep inhale. And a long exhale, bringing you back to center. Nice. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our blanket or towel, excuse me, from underneath you. And we're going to come to a tabletop position. Okay, in our tabletop position, we want to make sure that our hands are underneath our shoulders and our knees are underneath our hips. We're going to drop our belly, look forward, open our chest. On an exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Again, inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. On your exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. One more time. Inhale, drop your belly. And exhale, round your spine. All right, let's go to a neutral spine, making sure the crown of our head is extended. And when your hands are in this tabletop position, you want to work to press your knuckles and your fingertips into the mat to relieve pressure from your hips. We're going to go ahead and extend our right foot out with our toes on the mat and just do some gentle rocks up and down, kind of like a seesaw motion, stretching out the fascia of the foot, opening up that calf and hamstring muscle, and continuing to breathe while we do this. All right, go ahead and release your right knee down to the mat, and now let's extend our left leg out, toes on the mat, and do the same thing. Pressing into your toes, back up and down, back and forth, kind of seesaw, getting a good stretch in your calf, your toes. Nice, release. Now go ahead and curl your toes under and sit back on your heels if you're able to do that. If this is too much for you, you can either go all the way down like this, or even in a seated position. But what I want to talk to you about is your wrists may not be strong enough yet to stay on them for a good length of time. So at any time, go ahead and take a break. You can just do wrist rolls back and forth. You can clasp your fingers together and do these wrist rolls. That really relieves the wrists. So anytime during our practice, feel free to take a break if you feel like your wrists are tired and you need a break. All right, we're gonna walk our hands out, curl our toes under, and we're gonna gently lift our hips up and back for our first downward dog. Pedal out your toes, getting a good stretch in your calf and your hamstrings, so that you're not dumping all of your weight into your fingers and distributing your weight evenly. Try to bring your lower ribs up, your lower abs up to meet your ribs, so that you have that support and you can melt your heart back towards the tops of your legs. Be sure also that you're rotating your wrists out so that the inside of your elbow is shining towards the top of the mat. Now let's bend our knees, look forward, and step all the way to the top of the mat with our feet hip width apart. Today I remembered my blocks, and I wanted to show you that if this forward fold is too much for you without a block, you can bring the ground up to meet your hands. So we'll try and use our blocks whenever there's an opportunity during this practice. Allow the weight of your head to release over the mat. Make sure that you have a slight bend in your knees. And breathe. On your next inhale, we're going to rise all the way up with our hands all the way to the sky, palms together, and down at our heart, Anjali Mudra. We'll do 2 cycles of breath here. See if you can feel your heart beating in your chest, the energy flowing. On your next inhale, we're going to bring our arms down to come up. And on an exhale, we're going to float our hands all the way down to the mat. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, we're going to rise up to flat back position, tucking your elbows in like little grasshopper legs. And on an exhale, release your hands down to the mat. plant your hands on the mat and step your left toes back and lower your left knee. We're doing a nice runner's lunge here. You can either keep your back toes curled or press the top of your foot into the mat. You want to make sure that your right knee is over your right ankle, and you can feel this nice stretch here in the top of the left thigh. You can also feel that stretch in the hip area of your right leg. Okay, plant your hands. We're going to step the right leg back, the knee meeting the left knee, and we're going to roll all the way down to our belly. Hug your arms into your chest, and on an inhale, press up to cobra. On an exhale, release. Inhale, press up to cobra. Exhale, release. Come back up to our tabletop position. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up high to downward facing dog. Making sure that you're pressing into your fingertips and you're distributing your weight evenly. Let's take 2 cycles of breath. Deep inhale and a long exhale. Bend your knees, look towards the top of the mat, and then step all the way to the top of the mat, feet hip width apart. Inhale up to flat back position. Exhale, release your hands to the mat. On your next inhale, rise all the way up, hands over your head, palms together, and down at your heart, Anjali Mudra. Remember in this position, this mountain pose, Tadasana, we want to make sure that we are keeping our head over our heart and our heart over our pelvis. Sometimes we have a tendency to stick our hips out. We want to bring them in. Use your abs. All right, on our next inhale, we're going to bring our arms down to come up. And on an exhale, we're going to dive forward into our forward fold. On your next inhale, rise up to flat back position. On your exhale, release. Plant your hands on the mat, and now you're going to step your right toes back and lower your right knee. Same thing on this side. Feeling a good stretch. You can feel that stretch right here and in the top of the right thigh, even up towards the hip. Shine your chest forward. Remember to breathe into this stretch. We're creating flexibility. Plant your hands on the mat and bring your left knee to meet your right knee. And we're going to roll all the way back down to our bellies. Hands underneath your shoulders. On an inhale, press up to cobra. On an exhale, release. Again, inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Press up to tabletop position. Curl your toes under. Peel your hips up high to downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Look towards the top of the mat. Make your way all the way to the top of your mat. Feet hip width apart. Let your head hang over. Clasp opposite hand to opposite elbow and maybe do a gentle rock side to side. You're doing a great job. Release your hands to the mat. On an inhale, you're going to rise all the way up. Hands over your head, palms together. Anjali Mudra at the heart. Take a minute here. See where you are opening up both mentally and physically today, remembering to be flexible, to be kind to yourself, allowing this time to move you. On your next inhale, bring your hands down to come up, and on your exhale, dive all the way down, hands to the mat. Now, I want you to move your toes so that they're facing the corners of the front of your mat. And gently, we're gonna come all the way down into a squat. Now, if you have a block or a book you can use, I'll encourage you to put it behind you so you can sit on it. It takes time to be able to do some of these certain moves like squats. The way that my body is shaped, it's really hard for me to do a squat with my heels all the way down on the mat. I typically have my heels up a little bit, but you can use a block to help you. And then I invite you to place your hands, your palms together and at your heart, and gently place your elbows, press them up against the inside of your thigh gently. And we'll breathe here for 2 breath cycles. Inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Now, if you're using a block, go ahead and move that to the side and come down, seated on your mat. Now we're going to press our feet into each other, the soles of our feet, into a cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana. Now, this is also a great opportunity to use blocks if it's too much for you to open up like this without them. Over time and more practice that you do, you'll be able to do that. And place your hands on your toes or on your ankles. Sit up straight, really lengthen your spine and feel this stretch in your hips, your inner thighs. Let's take one more inhale together and exhale out through your mouth. If you did use a prop, go ahead and put that to the side. Extend your right leg out and keep your knee hugged into your body. Take your right hand and wrap it around your left leg. And take your left leg and bring it behind your left arm and bring it behind you into another gentle twist. And think about that directional breath again. Inhaling to expand your belly and exhaling to contract your navel to your spine. Inhale, exhale, release. Let's switch sides. Extend your left leg out, bring your right knee in, take your left arm and wrap it around your right leg, right arm behind you in a gentle twist. Inhale, exhale, release. Again, inhale, exhale. Keep your spine lengthened. Inhale and exhale. Come back to center. Let's bring our left knee to join our right knee and come all the way down onto our backs. Hands pressed into the mat. And we're going to take both of our knees over to the right side, getting a nice stretch on the left side body. Continue to breathe. And then bring your knees back to center and over to the left side, getting a nice stretch on the right side body. You're doing great. Bring your knees back to center, and now at your own pace, you're going to just windshield wiper your knees to the right and to the left until eventually your legs are extended out. Now we'll prepare for Shavasana. So I'll invite you to close your eyes again. In this stillness, notice the quiet flexibility within you. The space you've created not just in your muscles, but in your mind. Here, nothing needs to be changed or improved. Just observe the softening. Let the ease you feel now become a reminder. The same openness you find in your body can meet the moments of your life. When something feels tight or rigid, inside or out, come back to this breath, this spaciousness. Take a slow, full inhale, a long, releasing exhale. Let's go ahead and roll over to one side, pressing yourself up into a seated position. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I look forward to seeing you back for day 3. Let's take place our palms together, and I invite you to bring them up to your forehead and repeat with me. Namaste.